All right, everybody, this is part 2 of our domain and range for Tuesday notes. So you guys just finished up here. Now we're going to go on to the next part, the next graph that I have here. So again, I'm looking at domain, which is all possible x values. If I'm looking at my x values for this graph here, if I go all the way to the left, I'm looking all the way to the left of my line, I see an arrow at the end. If I follow my line all the way to the right, I see another arrow. That tells me I'm going on forever in both directions. Whenever that is the case, everybody, my domain is all real numbers. Whenever you continue on forever and ever and ever, the answer is all real numbers. Now, if I look at my range, let's see if it's the same situation. If I go all the way to the lowest point, my lowest point is right here, that right there, and it's an arrow. If I go all the way up right here, well, that's, let's see, is that my highest point? Nope, I get higher than that. This arrow is my highest point, telling me, all right, well, I got 2 arrows. 2 arrows is all real numbers. All right. So anytime you got 2 arrows, most likely it's going to be all real numbers. Let's continue on. All right, here's our next one. Domain. Let's check our x values. So my domain, if I go all the way to the left, I see an arrow. If I go all the way to the right, I see an arrow. All real numbers, just as we said from the last one. Now you might be saying, well, if that was all real numbers, well, the range must be all real numbers. Let's take a look. I'm looking at this line here. I see my lowest point, that has both arrows in it. But when I go to the top, I see I do have a highest point this time. There's going to be some cases where you do have a highest point. So when that is the case, that means you do have to write your range in your inequality notation. So I need a y. Since it's my biggest number, it's going to go onto the right side. And we're going to say y is always less than or equal to, because we didn't see a dot here, that means it's close. Y is less than or equal to -2 is my range. So sometimes you might have all real numbers for both. Sometimes it might only be for one. All right, let's continue on. All right, so at this point, we're on today's check for understanding. If you have not already, go ahead back into your module, and you will be working on this check for understanding for today. This graph right here is in your check for understanding. You will be identifying the domain and the range, and this is a multiple choice question. So you have multiple choice here to answer the domain and the range in your check for understanding. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow.